Halloween, and even then, you don't tell people about it.
No, I have a couple shots of it, but I like Yukon Jack Wicked Hot.
Tank's all about the female drinks. I mean, every time he posts like a screenshot of what he's drinking, it literally looks like he's drinking like a New York, like a.
There's always an umbrella in it.
He's like the iced tea.
He's like Jason Segel in How I Met Your Mother, where he just wants the fruity drinks, but he's like afraid of how manly it makes him.
I'm gonna go now before I fucking say anything bad.
You guys are bullies. Tank likes what he likes, you asshole.
Who's fucking talking about? Jets?
Yeah, that's Jets. Fucking here to defend you.
God.
Holy shit! Did you fix your mic, or did you just get like a non?
No, your mic sounds 100 times better today.
Mine
Jets,
or Tank's?
Yours.
Jets,
Yours.
I think you and May are tied for the best trades ever in IHL.
Oh my god!
All right, thank you.
Here we go.
That's actually
the whole thing does not revolve around you, Tank. There's other trades that happen.
All right, I'm trying to find one more piece to start this fucking podcast. I'm trying to figure out how to get this shit here.
No, seriously, have a good podcast, guys. Thanks for doing the podcast every week. I'll talk to you guys later.
No problem, buddy.
Thanks, man. All right, I'm trying to send this shit to
up.
I said thanks. Fuck you.
A lot of hostility. Holy shit.
What does it mean it's a limited series? What the fuck's that supposed to mean? Limited series.
I don't know.
What?
Fuck, I can't. I really want to. This is a brand new sponsor, and I want to get it out, and I fucking can't do it, and it's driving me fucking nuts. I'm just gonna have to fucking Google it.
Why can't you?
Let's see. I'm just gonna Google an image of it. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find it. Anyways, in the meantime, we actually are fucking live. So if you guys want to start introducing yourselves, go ahead while I look for this.
Dos Axel! I'm live. I'm live, everybody. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
God, how mortifying.
Oh, dude, is your mom really watching?
No. Christ, no.
That would be cool.
She'd beat my ass, bury me in a coffin in the backyard, and sip on her tea.
We reached 20 viewers on the Game 7. Is that the record or what?
That's pretty good. That's pretty fucking good, to be honest. 20 viewers for IHL playoff game. I go with it.
That's what I was thinking. Like, wow.
Yeah, and then the fucking stream went down in the third period.
Yeah, like, well, you can blame Petrie for that. He's good for nothing, Petrie.
What might do? This picture bit do? No, that might not work. Fuck, god damn it. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. We're just gonna go with this one. And it is what it is.
Well, we're just gonna continue with our t-shirt sponsor.
No. Well, yeah, but we also have a brand new sponsor today, and and I had a special picture picked out, but my WhatsApp cannot fucking connect to my computer, so I'm forced to improvise.
Well, in an attempt to allow you to improvise a couple seconds longer, I want to know who's in charge of posting the weekly announcement at the top of the webpage. What are they smoking that they're like doing rainbow?
It's not. I think that's Zenden, but it's not supposed to be rainbow.
Oh wait, you know what? Now that I look at it and like actually look at it, it's the color of the team. Yeah, it's still too faggy. I don't like it.
Okay.
Right, Zenden, you got some.
That's only.
You got some criticism there,
we got faggy teams left.
Yeah.
Well, like if next week it's New York or Philly and Calgary and Colorado, it won't look so stupid, but because then it's orange and orange, red and red. So
what? Why do I look stupid?
You guys have stalled long enough. Thank you very much.
You really need us to answer that?
You're on the wrong tab.
Answer it after. All right. Yeah, I know. I'm clicking over to it now, but I'm getting distracted. Okay, so welcome back to another IOHL podcast, guys. There is so much to actually talk about this podcast. It is ridiculous. I wanted to keep it to like half an hour, but the first round has been, if not interesting, definitely fucking entertaining. So we have 3 teams that actually got swept. What I did was I actually went through and I listened to all of your predictions except Doss. I didn't get a chance to get to yours because yours were so long and yeah. Anyways, I'll let you go through it. So I went through and I listened to everyone's predictions I got, and then I basically matched them up with how the series went and who did well. And, you know, FYI, I had a perfect week. I predicted every series that was a win and a loss perfectly, while everyone else had 1 and 2 here and everyone kind of wrong, especially the Philly and Buffalo series. So we're going to talk about Montreal defeating Detroit. We're going to talk about the downfall of Toronto. We're going to talk about the emergence of Philly. And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Reaper owes Bacon $50.
Other way
No,
around.
the other way around.
No, what? No.
No,
Oh, yeah. No, sorry, you're
Bacon
right.
said that he
No.
was taking 2, so he did not take 2.
Yeah. So fucking Bacon owes Reaper $50. My apologies. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got that to talk about, and then there's not much to say about the Dallas Vegas series. That's kind of one and done.
Yep.
And then Calgary. One thing you did say last podcast, Zenon, was that Calgary and Edmonton would be a nail biter, would be the best series of the fucking week, and you were right. It did go to 7 like you predicted. And then like that one was hit or miss. We didn't really know who would win, and then Calgary won. I think
I had 2
Dawson,
perfect
looking at your
predictions
thing
this
here.
weekend.
I knew who was going to win.
I had Tampa Bay in 5, and I had Calgary in 7, so I got both of those exactly right.
All right, but before we go into that, guys, I have a brand new sponsor for us today, and I just want to ask everyone: Have you ever felt the need to have a commissioner on your team? Someone you respect, look up to, and really want to play with, but couldn't draft him, and his owner, who's an asshole like Blaine, wouldn't trade him. Well, I got the product for you guys. That's right, for the low price of $2.99. You can get yourself a Zenden doll, complete with long hair. Complete with long hair. And that's pretty much it. The beard and hockey stick are sold separately. You're going to have to buy that on your own. But if you guys want to buy the Zenden doll for only the low price of $2.99, all the proceeds go to IOHL. Please hit up Zenden personally on his on that sponsor. What's that?
That's pretty cheap. $2.99.
Does that include the Sharpie so we can color the mustache and beard?
$299. That's not $2.99. My bad. I said that wrong.
Okay.
$299.
Well, if it's $299, it better include the damn Sharpie.
Yeah. No. You guys got to buy the Sharpie yourself, and you got to buy the beard sold separately. Okay, so.
God, that was great.
Going on to our next sponsor, of course, I actually had a picture. Tank got one of his shirts in, said his gamer tag and the number. Again, can't connect my WhatsApp to the computer, so fuck that. But if you guys want to, you still can purchase an IOHL t-shirt for as long as Petrie wants to sell them, I guess. $17.99, $5 extra if you want to include your name.
He'll have them up for a while.
Yeah, he's going to. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think he'll take them down after he figures out like only 5 people are going to buy them. All right, moving on. So let's go into the playoffs, guys. All right, so we're going to first look at DOS. Do you want to do your stuff first, or do you want to go through last week's predictions and then we'll go through next week's predictions?
Let's go through last week's predictions. I can like I already mentioned, I had 2 perfect series. I only went 4 and 2, so I had some missed picks, and we can just go through everybody's.
All right, I made my own colorful doc here. Let me present this to
everyone. That is gorgeous.
Give me a second. My fucking mouse wants to be an asshole.
It's gorgeous because it's less rainbowy than the website.
Yeah, I mean, I worked on it throughout the week when we were doing after each round we were doing kind of like post prediction, like after predictions. Sorry, fucking just to give everyone who wasn't like an owner a heads up on what was going on. Quickly, Zenden, what are you drinking today, bud?
Jim Beam and Pepsi.
So same thing like last week. Doss,
yeah.
I don't think are you drinking?
No, I got home way too late to get anything correct. I might have a beer in the fridge if we really need me to stop saying or something later. But
No, I like it. All right, so the way the first round went is we have Tampa wins in 5. Detroit, dude, I should stop yawning. You're driving me nuts. Sweeps Detroit. Philly sweeps Buffalo. Colorado wins in 5. That should have been a sweep, but whatever. I don't know what happened with that one game. I watched it. They should have won, but then they lost it over. That was actually a really good game, but they lost it overtime. Las Vegas and Dallas. Las Vegas wins in 4. I felt like Dallas really gave up on that series. And then obviously we talk about Calgary and Edmonton winning in 7. So we're going to go, I guess, Jets, will do your predictions first. So I kind of have them highlighted dark here. So no one can really fucking see them. All right, so we're going to go with, you know what? This just fucks it up. Okay. So you're right with Tampa. Actually, a lot of people are right with Tampa winning in 5. Montreal wins and actually sweeps, but they still win the series. Buffalo actually loses the series, so you're wrong there. Ooh, that's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about being wrong about Buffalo and Philly?
I don't care.
The only series he cared about was his own team, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, fucking, whatever. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
He's
Anyways,
biased.
this is a funny one. A lot of you guys got wrong. Was Dallas winning over Vegas, which I kind of saw that one coming. No, you didn't. Sorry, Dallas. So that was wrong. And then, Calgary winning that series in 7. So you're right about that one.
If you want to input mine in there while we're waiting, I'll scroll into the WhatsApp and find it again, so you can just type it in there real quick if you want.
Yeah. Do it up. We'll go through Bacon's. Unfortunately, Bacon and Reaper cannot be on the podcast, which is sad because Bacon was such a fucking riot. His drunken madness.
He was right about one series, wasn't he? Because there was only one upset.
Well, he was right about so he was wrong about Toronto. He was right about Detroit.
You mean right about Montreal?
Right about Montreal. Fuck. Okay, I've been drinking for a little bit here, so give me some break here. He was wrong about Buffalo. And I can't seem to get the fucking color right. Fuck yourself. He was wrong about Nashville, obviously. I did it again. Fuck. All right, maybe let's just do this after. He was wrong about Dallas, and then he was wrong about Edmonton. So I mean, only out of all of his predictions, he only got one of them right. And since he's not here, we can't really rag on him for it. Zenian, we'll go to yours, man. See what you got here. I'm gonna have to check my WhatsApp through my phone. And no one's really saying anything. All right, those dudes are talking about fucking Conan. All right, let's go. Zendon, I'll let you read off your predictions, buddy. How do you think you did?
I don't even remember who I predicted.
It's on the screen.
I can't see that. I'm old.
But I made it bold.
Come on,
and big.
with those groovy glasses you have in your profile picture, are you shitting me?
Yeah, man, I can't see that shit.
You should be able to see naked women in their clothes with those things.
Fucking X-ray vision, right?
Exactly.
Fucking Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, I know I had Tampa.
Yes.
They just kicked their ass. I know I had Montreal. They kicked their ass. I had our team, but we sucked.
You didn't have Tampa, did you?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, you had
Yeah, I'm
Tampa.
sure I did.
Yeah,
He did.
you had Tampa.
Who else did I have?
They actually
You had
won
Buffalo?
in 4.
Yeah, I had Buffalo. That was kind of wishful thinking because Cardona's a jackass.
You had you had Colorado, and Calgary, and Dallas.
Colorado didn't even play, man.
What are you talking about?
Colorado, didn't they have a bye?
That was Chicago. Had a bye.
Oh, okay.
Man,
Great
Zendon's
stat,
drinking
not-
some good shit this week.
Yeah, I gotta drink some more, man. Yeah, so who did Colorado play? I don't even remember. That's how bad the series was.
They played Bacon.
They played Nashville.
Oh, they played Nashville. Oh, yeah. Well, that was like a bye. I mean, I don't know what the fuck Bacon was thinking he had it shot. I mean, Fizzy could have triple tagged and they still wouldn't have won.
So, what happened in this Dallas-Vegas series, man? You had Dallas in 6 over Vegas.
I'm looking at your.
It was a.
Go ahead.
What?
His
ahead.
mic's fucked up again.
No,
Yeah, what the hell?
I was gonna say something, then I stopped talking to let you talk.
it was a way closer series than what the, obviously 4-0 is, whatever. We had 2 games where we absolutely dominated the games, especially game 2 from like friggin' 25-10 and had triple their time on attack and just we had 2 games like that where we just, we played really well and they still beat us. So hats off to them. I really thought that most of their team was kind of disinterested at this point too.
Most of your team?
No, their team. It kind of seemed like he was having some trouble getting guys together, and fucking Lanky no-showed on them, but everybody else came together and kind of rallied around getting into the playoffs. So I wish we had a better showing, but we didn't.
Zen didn't sound so depressed this week, or is that just me?
I know it does, man. It sounds like he's been crying before the podcast. They're gonna ask me about Dallas and Vegas. I know.
I think our latest sponsor really hurt his feelings. Cobra, we might need an apology. So Zen didn't stop.
What do you mean?
Does the Zenden doll come with real tears?
It does. Yeah, actually, that's included, but that's an extra $100.
Yeah, that's the Drowning in Tears doll edition. That's like a special edition.
That's the special edition after you lost the series.
Oh, that's cool. Everybody buy that one.
Yeah, you pull a string and real tears come out. All right, so Jesus Christ,
we're called a tampon.
We're gonna do Reapers here because he was wrong about most of them because he's an idiot. He was right about Tampa in 5. I'll give him that. He was wrong about Detroit because he's fucking stupid. He was wrong about Buffalo. I think he was wrong about like every other series except Nashville.
I don't know how any. If you were paying attention at all, there's no way you could have picked Detroit. No,
Shut up.
They fucking checked out 3 weeks ago.
Shut your whore mouth.
Oh, what did you pick? Did you pick Detroit? Who picked Detroit? Das, you picked Detroit? Is that what you're trying to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll see. That's why I didn't write your series.
Then you weren't paying attention.
Then you're out of your mind.
Well, we also saw an inconsistent Montreal. I mean, the week before the final week of the season, they were either the first team out or the last team in. I can't remember. So.
Yeah, they were gearing up for the playoffs.
Yeah, if you
Detroit stinks.
If you were just looking,
Snoopy's a jackass.
Because me and Zedden have a unique perspective. One, I've been on Detroit, and I've been saying it since I got traded off Detroit. Is Detroit only needed to go 500 for the rest of the season? They make the playoffs. They're in their spot. That's what they did. But in that point, I know that they don't really care. Snoopy doesn't care. I think one dude on their team, Jackson, was talking about how, oh man, no one practices and stuff like that. Because Snoopy doesn't give a shit. Day one since I got on that team, there was no effort. And look, one thing I respect out of new owners and current owners and stuff, that they'll at least attempt in the first couple weeks to, and even with Ottawa, to get the team together, to play, to practice, to everyone get used to each other. There's an attempt there. Whether it fails or succeeds, whole different matter. There was no attempt in Detroit. He just didn't give a shit. He cares more about LG. This is more of like his side league where he gets a couple of players from LG that play, practice games. That's how he's always been. So when you know that going into it, then one, Montreal, I know Kong, and Kong cares, and a lot of players on his team care, and they want to win. Especially you have Tank, who's the most egotistical person you could probably meet in all of IOHL. So they care about winning. So that's why it's an easy pick to pick Montreal to win that series. If you know both teams, Detroit's not going to make it because the owner doesn't care. That's just simply how it goes sometimes.
A lot of that can be chalked up then, at least on my end, to not even being in league NHL for a full calendar year yet. So I'm still getting new to all these faces and stuff. But
yeah, it's not like any of these predictions actually matter. These are for fun. It's like we're gonna criticize you, like, you picked that team, you're a fucking moron. Like, no, it's
I'm pretty sure I said the only reason I picked Detroit against Montreal is just because I didn't know which Montreal was gonna be there.
Yeah, no, I said the same thing. I said the same thing in the last podcast. I said they're both good teams. Like, Detroit had a good team, and it's hit or miss because, like you said, Montreal's been up or down. But I picked Montreal in the end because I just feel like Montreal would have won that series. I didn't predict they'd sweep. The fact that they swept this series, I didn't think that was
that was definitely shocking to me. Let alone that they won. But like like I said, I've already given my reasoning. So,
even the fact that Philly swept, even the fact that fucking what other team? There's 3 teams that got swept, right? There was the Detroit. There's Montreal, Philly, and who else? And Dallas. Okay, well, I kind of knew Dallas was going to get smoked. I think you would have won at least one game. So that being said, let's go to my predictions. Woo! Let's highlight this shit, and we're just going to do something quick off the bat. We're just going to highlight this shit all green because I was right about every single one. I did get a chance to watch this is one thing, the kind of things I want to talk about, and I did get a chance to watch the Tampa Bay and the Toronto series a lot. I got a chance to watch one of the Montreal games. I got a chance to watch a bunch of games. Actually, I was really paying attention this week, except I didn't get a chance to watch the Calgary series, the Calgary Edmonton series, as much as I would have wanted, considering that one went to 7. Sorry, I was too busy playing Conan. But Tampa in 5, I mean, they just outplayed Toronto, and I think Toronto was just delusional. You could see it in the owner's chat where Slice was defending his team, and Slice is a little bit of a two-faced bitch. But anyways, moving on. Montreal obviously wins that series, and then Philly, I think, is the real surprise. The fact that they, everyone kind of shit on them, especially on the podcast, about no one really thought Philly could actually make it to the next round. But there you are. They're in the next round, and they sweep Buffalo. And then you got the rest of the series. You kind of know how everything plays out: Colorado, Nashville, and then Calgary. Thoughts, boys? Any thoughts?
I think the problem with the the Calgary Edmonton series was a great friggin' series, but man, it was painful hockey to watch a lot.
What, just like a lot of bad, like drop-in hockey? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, it wasn't drop-in hockey, but it was really defensive hockey. So you didn't have a lot of flashy plays. You had a lot of poke checking and a lot of turnovers and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So yeah, both
there wasn't
teams
a lot
really
of
defensive.
Yeah, they're both very defensive teams, especially Edmonton. So it wasn't fun hockey to watch. I think I watched 3 of those 7 games, and man, great series. They both play so hard. Neither one of the teams have the most talented roster in the league, but man, they all play so hard.
Sounds like someone's smoking in the background. Who's smoking?
Yeah. So, I mean, I had 2 really wrong series. I obviously picked Detroit in 5. And then I picked Dallas in 7, which, to my credit, I thought that was like my one pick that I thought would be a possible for an upset because everyone else, we just weren't sure.
So wait, which one? Dallas and what?
I had Dallas in 7.
Okay.
And I had, and my other wrong one was I had Detroit in 5.
Okay.
Other than that, I got everything else right, including the Tampa Bay and Calgary series perfect. I guessed that in 5 and 7. Despite being so wrong on 2 of them, I was so right on 2 of them, so I'll take that.
So you picked Philly over Buffalo?
I did pick Philly over Buffalo. I did not pick a sweep there. I picked Philly in 6, and then I took Colorado in 4, and I took and then I said I took Calgary in 7.
Well, I mean, I don't think any of us could have predicted that Buffalo was just going to mail in the whole series. It was like they didn't even show up.
I did. Look,
I didn't get to watch any of the
that
games this
green.
week due to my schedule kind of changing last minute. So I kind of went based on the last week of the series, Philly being really hot and having played Buffalo, knowing their weakness. So that was kind of just another gut check kind of pick.
Well, that was more strategic than mine. I picked Philly on the sole purpose of just kind of ego stroking Cardona there because he was so confident going into the first round. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pick Philly, but like that. Okay, so Philly and Buffalo and Edmonton and Calgary, like I said last week, are. Like I said about Edmonton and Calgary, there's the 2 teams I haven't really paid attention to all season, haven't really looked into. It's the same thing for Buffalo and Philly. I haven't really looked into those teams. I do know Philly, he talks about going from, taking over a team where the owner had quit from a last place team into fourth. I thought that was kind of impressive because you don't see that very often.
Right.
But you see Ottawa, an owner taking over a team in fourth place, going all the way to last. Actually, I think that team was in third and second at one point. So you don't see that too often. Philly team jumping that often. So that's one thing that impressed me about Cardano.
Yeah. So I don't know. To my credit, when I did pick Dallas, I did think it would take the whole series, meaning that it was a true underdog selection. But
yeah. I mean, everyone picked Dallas. I don't know why. Vegas has been killing it all year. I mean, they've been a number 3 team. I've played them. They've been good.
Props to Vegas for shutting everybody up. In my opinion, they just kind of struggled a little bit down the stretch, and maybe that was just because they didn't care. And I thought, I knew Dallas had a good goalie because we could never score on him, and I know his numbers throughout the season were pretty solid. So that was my kind of one pick to maybe if they could eke out 2 of the first 4.
Time.
So
Prophet picked the wrong time to go cold on us.
Yeah. So the only one I really
blaming the goalie, really sending.
No, not at all.
That's what this has gone down to.
No.
Jesus Christ! I thought you were better than this.
The only one I really got horribly
Nobody
wrong
blamed
was
the goalie
Detroit series, so I'm pretty happy with my
blame the goalie. You said
no,
that was
an awful
time for Prophet to go cold.
It was.
All right.
That doesn't mean I'm blaming him.
Well, when he's the first player you mentioned after we talk about your series, yes, that is you blaming him, unless you have other names.
I only said that because Dose said that he dominated all season.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
And he did. And my man asked me to GM a team with him next season, but obviously I'm staff, so I can't.
Yeah, what league? Shit.
You're funny.
That's an inside joke right there. Okay, all right. So that being said, anyone else have anything to say about the first round? I think we covered everything. Unless anyone else has anything else to add. Yes. No?
The only thing I'll say is I was surprised how quick each series was over, aside from the Edmonton Calgary, because we all agreed that was going to be a really good series. But I was truly surprised how many sweeps and how many 5-game series there were. I thought for sure there would only be one sweep and maybe a couple that were 5-game series.
Well, I was saying, the funny thing is, I feel like every time I talk, I jinx shit because I said after the first little mini fucking show we did, which is the round 1 first 2 games recap on Sunday, that this was going to be a good first round, and that the second round would kind of be a wash, and then the third round would be really good. And in the first round, 3 teams get swept. So I apologize for jinxing those teams.
All right. On to the second round.
Wait, before we move to the second round, I want to give a shout out to Geineman. That dude just took over his team, which wasn't his team to start the season, and kept that thing rolling all year. Never had a problem, never had a question, never had trouble.
Which team
dude
is this?
Just ran it. This is Edmonton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that dude just did a solid job. And that's all after, I think, last season he was traded like 4 or 5 times. The dude kind of bounced around, never really stuck anywhere. So, a lot of times that's an indication of a guy that, that may not be that. But, man, he was solid all year. He did a really great job keeping that team competitive and on the winning side of the docket all season. And, that dude did a really nice job.
Ever. Gives you all the time you need.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
In honor of Edmonton and Bacon, we're gonna do a golf clap. Everyone, come on.
All right, there we go. I don't ever want to do that again.
Maybe.
All right, so we're moving on to round 2. We have the 2 teams that had to bye. They're finally in it. We get to see Chicago, and we get to see the Islanders play. I hope I got this right. Chicago plays Calgary, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Because you guys are the lower seed, and then the Islanders will play Montreal because they were the lower seed, right?
Correct.
Yep, correct.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure I got that correct.
Well done, sir.
Making me look really stupid. All right, so we'll start off with Zendon. We don't have the normal podcast crew here, so we can't get their predictions, but we do have Winnipeg, Zendon, Doss, and me, so we'll get those, and then hopefully I'll get Reapers and Bacon's after.
We're still the normal podcast crew. We're just missing 2.
Yeah, I mean, well, whatever. I mean, the 2 of the more, I mean, one, we're missing Reaper, who would constantly be shit-talking me the whole entire podcast, and then we're missing Bacon, who would be completely smashed, and let's be awesome. Yeah, let's be honest here. He has awesome hair.
Well, he's irrelevant anymore, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but either are you.
Yeah, I'm the only relevant one here left, so.
Yeah, we're all sitting here just judging.
Well, that's not true. I run this bitch, so, okay.
That is true.
All right, so since you run this bitch,
I am never irrelevant.
We're going to go with you first, sir. Islanders and Montreal. Where do you see that series going?
I think Montreal gives them a little bit of trouble, but not a lot of trouble. I think it's a 4-2 series for the Islanders. I think they're just too strong.
Okay, so New York Islanders wins in what?
4-2. 4-2.
So wins in 6.
6 games.
Okay. I just want to mark all this down now so I don't have to fucking do it next week.
Mark it down.
And then we got Tampa and Philly.
He muted himself. There we go.
That's an interesting series.
He had to pause himself. I'm like, okay, I gotta have to. All right. Well, remember, you were against Philly before, now you really gotta think this right.
My initial reaction is to just shit talk the hell out of Cardona.
Such a nice guy, though.
Yeah, but he's so fun to root against. And you're right, he's a cool dude. Yeah, he's just fun to root against.
Okay.
He's overly confident for the team he's got. And he's lucky he played a team that checked out a few weeks ago in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if Tampa is all that much better. Tampa's got a really good defensive team, but they can't score to save their lives.
So, you know what? Wait, before you continue, there's one thing I actually wanted to touch base on, and I forgot until now, until you mentioned Tampa. The thing with the Toronto and Tampa series is, one, I think they should have played Oshie more, just to give him a little bit of a shutout. I'm sorry to cut you off here a little bit, but I really want to get this point out there for the podcast. So Tampa forfeits game 3. See, in my mind, if I'm the Toronto owner and they forfeit, and see, the thing is, there's a difference between forfeiting at game time and forfeiting hours before. If they forfeit hours before, that means they're strategically forfeiting.
Right.
Because, okay, so let's say you play your best players before you put the lineups, they already forfeit. Game 3, they win game 4. So you basically want to throw your best lineup for game 5 because the chances are they're going to forfeit game 6 so that they can have the same players play game 7.
Well, I mean, it wasn't necessarily that, though. The reason they forfeited game 3 was because, Burns being suspended from not having the lineups in, they did not have another player. They had to forfeit game 3 because they couldn't have one of their D-men play 3 games in a row.
And he had to be scheduled for 1 game in those.
No. That wasn't the reason. Right. He forfeited game 3 because someone wasn't responding.
No, not at all. He forfeited. I mean, he said he forfeited game 3 before the friggin' season.
He came into my party hours before and said, I'm forfeiting game 3 because one of my defensemen isn't responding.
It was one of his ECU guys. It was one of his TC guys. It wasn't one of his main roster guys. He tried to get a TC guy to fill that spot, and he wasn't responding.
All right. Well, that's my point. I think they would have forfeited game 6, and I think it would have went to 7.
Yeah, they wouldn't have.
I think they would have. I think
I know 100% they would not have forfeited game 6.
100%.
100%.
Are you in their locker room right now? Are you in their team chat? Is that how you know?
Well, no, but obviously I'm friends with Burns and I'm friends with AVR.
Yeah, but you can be friends with a lot of people. I've seen Burns' teams before, and I've seen a lot of teams pull the same strategy, where they'll forfeit a couple games. You know,
It
they'll
was
put someone in
only
who isn't
because
gonna make it.
Burns was suspended.
I guess. Okay. All right. Maybe. Okay.
Yep.
My point is, I think they would have forfeited Game 6. You say they wouldn't have. I think Toronto should have played a different lineup. So that's the thing with playoffs. I feel like what Toronto did wrong was they took Slice, Hound, and Showtime. Slice and Hound are mediocre to begin with. Showtime can't do anything with them. So it's difficult to play. Showtime, you got to put him with a couple of like different types of players, and he could do really well. He's a good player himself. But watching that series itself, you don't play them in an elimination game. I think you switch it up. You try something new.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work for the first 2 games, don't put the same fucking lineup for Game 5.
What Toronto did
stupid.
wrong was counting on Farva to play D. Let's face it.
He's like the only one listening right now, and he's like, "Mother."
Yeah. Why do you think I said it?
Oh wait, no.
Listen,
Burns said I had to forfeit Game 3 for sure. It was definitely because I was suspended. I learned from this mistake. We'll touch on that suspension a little later. I felt like 3 games was a little harsh for fucking playoffs. No offense. But all right,
Yeah,
we're
but
gonna
keep in mind,
on.
it wasn't necessary. It wasn't a 3-game suspension for him because you could play a max 4 in the playoffs, and it's not like he could only play 1 game.
Yeah, but your suspension system is, and all due respect, and we talked about it before the season started. Your suspension system is stupid, and it needs to be changed. And the reason is you handicap teams like this, where you say you can't play the first 3. It should be like, okay, so playoffs. It should only be a minimal. It should be different suspension. It should be 3 games. It should be 1 game tops, to like every other fucking league I've ever known, especially LG.
It pretty much was.
Like saying is, well, yeah, because the series played out that way. But I'm saying is, if you would have suspended him 1 game,
No, if it was a 7-game series, it still would have only been 1 game he had to miss. Because he could play game 4, 5, and 7.
He couldn't play 3 in a row.
Did you just not hear what I fucking said?
Yes, I'm fucking drunk right now. I'm
4, 5, and 7 he could have played.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I still think the suspension system is stupid. I think it should be limit that person's game for the week so he only gets 3 games. You take 1 game away, and then the suspension is placed wherever he wants to place it. You limit a game rather than like starting the week 3-game suspension. I don't agree with it. I think it handicaps teams, and it's unnecessary. It's fucking unnecessary. All right, whatever. We can have this staff debate any other time you want.
Keep going on with his picks here.
Tampa Bay and Philly. Since we're talking about Tampa Bay, anyways, who do you think's gonna win this series? I know you didn't give your answer yet.
I think Tampa's going to win it 4-2. I'm going 4-2 in this series too. I'm still not a believer in Philly. I think they took advantage of a team that was had given up, and I don't think they're that good.
Take Tampa in 6?
I'm taking Tampa in 6. Yeah, I mean, I think Tampa's defense is really strong, and I think that that they can make do with their offense and get by this round.
All right, so I'm gonna put Tampa in 6 over my boy Philly. All right, find that down there. But I'm really liking this Captain Morgan, by the way. I had to get another bottle of it. I'm like, you know what? I'm doing pure rum and coke for this podcast. Fuck it. Fuck the shots. All right, so now we got Chicago and Calgary. What do you think, Zenon?
Fuck you.
I apologize to my man Jets, but they're going to get swept.
That's okay. I'm going to be the only person who predicts my team.
Listen, I hope you're right, but I don't think it's even possible. Listen, what you got to hope is this team's been off for 2 friggin' weeks now, and realistically, they've probably been off for 3 or 4 weeks now because they didn't pay attention the whole last 2 weeks of the season. They can't get themselves back together. But if they're playing to their potential, there's nobody in the whole league can beat them. So we'll see. But I think Dark is going to get these guys together. I think that he learned from last season, the Puppet Master, and And I think he's going to get these guys going and get them together. And I just think they roll through the rest of the playoffs.
All right, so I know you might be salty about this next one. Colorado and Vegas.
I'm not salty at all. JD's my man. I love that guy. And I think they have a shot. I think Colorado's really good. And we talked about them having two lines last week where, some teams only have one good line. The thing that surprised me about Vegas in our series, we played our two best games and the two closest games of the series against their first line, and their second line blew us out. So if their second line can play well in this next series, I really think they got a shot. I'm going to say that Colorado's going to win this thing. I've said 6 games every time, so I'm going to say 7 this time, just because I don't feel like saying 6 anymore. I still think Colorado's going to win this thing, but I think it's going to be tougher than a lot of people are going to think.
So Colorado in 7, you said?
I'm going to say Colorado in 7, yeah.
All right. We got it locked in. We will judge you next week. I can't type right now. Fuck, there we go. All right, so now we got who should we go to next? Who wants to be next? Come on.
I'll go next. Mine's
Hands
quick,
up,
so.
like little children. Yours is quick? Okay.
Well, I already know what it's going to be.
Oh, you already know. Fuck.
Well, like,
All right,
I
so
know
Jets,
who I'm
go
going to
ahead.
pick. I mean, Islanders in 6.
Okay. Islanders is 6, okay.
Tampa in...
Tampa
also in 6.
Jesus. All right, so you're pretty much you and Zenden are pretty much synced. You guys are like girls. You've locked your periods. Chicago and
if
Calgary.
you look at my first predictions, I sent you round by round, and I actually had that exact thing for the second round.
No, I know you did. I'm just making a joke. I'm not saying you're copying.
Another 6, Calgary in 6.
Calgary in 4. Got you.
I'll say this. If it goes to Game 7, I think Chicago will win. But I think we can win in 6.
All right, and Colorado and Vegas.
Colorado in 5.
Colorado in 5. Damn, JD, man, this guy got no fucking faith in you, man. Jeez, what a
I
dick.
don't know. We slaughtered Vegas all season. We didn't beat Colorado, so that's just what I base it off of how we did against them.
Fair enough. For all, quick second, for all the listeners that are listening now, make sure you check at the beginning of the podcast for our special two advertisers, especially the first one. Buy your Zenden dolls while they're hot. Doss, we're gonna go over to you, man. What do you think? Islanders versus Montreal. Where do you think that series is going?
Do yours first because I'm looking up a stat for one particular series, and then I'll be ready.
You're putting me on the spot. Mine go quickly, man. I'm just like
that's okay. I just need a little stall time.
All right. The reason I'm picking and Montreal, I got a lot of friends on Montreal, but I am picking the Islanders because I sense Kong is really Kong. I think I got a couple quotes from him. He said, "Islanders suck. We're gonna take you down." Fucking Montreal the way. But there are a couple players on Montreal that kind of doubt if they will make it past this series. So I am going to pick Islanders. I'm not a fan of picking how many games they're going to win. I just think they're going to win the series. So I'm just going to make it blanket simple. Islanders, I think, take that series. Tampa over Philly. I'm going to go with Philly. I feel if Philly's hot, I think Philly's going to make it to the next round. I feel like Cardona's got that. He's got that special shit right there, man. I think he's got it. My boy Philly.
You got one word right. Shit.
Round. Fuck you. Chicago and Calgary. I'm gonna pick Chicago, man. Sorry. And then Colorado and Vegas. Colorado's been killing it all season. So is Vegas. So this is actually one of those series where it's tough. I really feel like this is definitely gonna go in 7. Picking it is really hard. Let's see. Let's keep my perfect fucking record going. fuck it. I'm gonna give it to Colorado. I'm gonna give it to Angry Fawn. He's put together a fucking amazing team. He's got a lot of good players. He does have JJ, who I don't really like, but fuck it. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, in the end, I think we played. One experience I have playing against Colorado is a game where we were pretty much deadlock. I think it was like 2-2 or something like that, and we were about to go into overtime. We were kind of hoping for the overtime point, but I mean, I remember talking to Angry about it after, and he said, you know, JJ just kind of took the game in his hands. He said, "We're winning this," and within like the last 10 seconds of the third, they score the game-winning goal. So I'm gonna go with Colorado based on the fact that I think they do have the willpower to win. So there's my picks. I go Islanders, Philly, Chicago, and Colorado. I could be wrong about the Philly series because Tampa has been really good in terms of defense, but I do believe Philly will pull it out because they're hot. Islanders, I think, are going to win because Montreal is, you know, they're doubtful. I mean, if they go into it strong and they win the first 2 games, then that series goes the distance, and then it's anyone's ball game. Chicago over Calgary. No offense, Calgary. It's fucking Chicago. And then Colorado over Vegas. Both really good teams, but I think Colorado has the mentality and the will to win that series.
The thing that really concerns me about Colorado is their second line. You know, that their forward depth is not great. They've got a bunch of great D-men. They got 2 good goalies. Their second line forwards are what concerns me. And if Vegas's second line forwards can play like they did against us, that's where I think this series is going to be really, really tough.
Who is their second line?
I don't know. I don't even know. Do they really even have one?
For Colorado?
Yeah.
Well, they have. I'm pretty sure. I think Jive is on the second line. Jive Turkey, and I play with him on.
Turkey.
I play with him on Cleveland.
Is he going to show up?
He'll show up. Oh yeah, he'll show up. He's really good.
Jive?
All right. Well, but who's going to go with him? I mean, they got John and JJ and. But who's on that second line?
I don't even know their team. I couldn't tell you 4 players on that team. So.
Wait, weren't you just judging their second line? You don't even know who's on it?
I wasn't.
Well, no. I mean, it's.
Zendon was.
I am. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you got JJ and John on the first line, and then the second line. Yeah, if Jive is on a second line, but who else is there? I mean,
all right,
not really sure.
Fuck, man. I don't think anyone knows, man. No one's
Yummy Scummer? Is that Colorado's team?
Scarab, yeah.
Something like that.
Holy shit! One prediction I forgot to read last week was Angry Fonz. I didn't even realize he sent it to me. All right, so I'll read those off quickly, Doss, to give you some more time. He predicted Tampa in 4, Montreal in 5, Buffalo in 5. So he was wrong about the Buffalo series. He was right about the first 2. Nashville, Colorado in 4, Dallas, Vegas in 6, and then Edmonton. So he was right about the first 2 in the West, and then he was wrong about Calgary. There you go. Next round for the East, he predicted Montreal versus Islanders, Islanders in 5, Tampa Bay versus Buffalo, which I guess would be Philly, Buffalo in 7. So he actually predicted Tampa Bay losing to Buffalo. And then the West, Chicago versus Edmonton, which I guess would be your team, Calgary. And so I guess he would predict Chicago winning at 4 against Calgary. I don't think that would have changed. And then Vegas versus Colorado, Colorado in 5. So those are Angry Fawn's predictions. I think I'm going to go through slices real quick here, just to give you a little bit more time. Motherfucker slices.
Are they in English?
Slices. Yeah, they are in English. Slices predicted he would win in 7 against Tampa Bay. You were wrong. He was right about the Detroit series. He was right about the Philly series. He actually predicted Philly winning in 7. He was right about the Colorado series. He was right about the Vegas series. And he was right about he actually predicted Calgary winning in 5. So he gave you a little bit more credit than the rest of the podcast there, eh, Calgary?
I mean, if we played consistent to how we can play, we probably could have. Just like, I don't know, we had 2 games where we played to the best that we could play, and we smashed them 6-1 both games back to back. So the rest of the games, one game was complete shit, worst game we've played in the whole season. So it's just whether we're consistent or not.
So Slice, the owner of Toronto, actually had the West really down. He actually had all of them right. In terms of the second round, he had Colorado versus Vegas. He had Colorado winning in 5. Which I think a lot of people are kind of going with, and then Calgary versus Chicago. He had Calgary winning in 5. Not Calgary, sorry. He had Chicago winning in 5.
I was about to say shit. About to send that guy a fucking.
Send the guy a message like, "Thanks, man." Like, nah, shit. All right, Doss, I've stalled long enough for you, sir. You've had time to look up your stats, your statistics. Let's hear it. Let's run through it. You ready, bud?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was actually ready for a little bit there because you guys had a good little discussion while I was sitting here. So,
yeah, I wanted to buy you a little extra time because I did have predictions for 2 other owners. And like, if you guys, any other owners who are listening, if you have predictions for next round, send them to me, man. I'll read them on the podcast, no problem. Islanders versus Montreal. What do you got?
So for the Islanders versus Montreal, I have the Islanders in 5. If there was going to be between Chicago and the Islanders, in my opinion, the Islanders are most likely to get upset, but I have the Islanders in 6. For the
we're just talking about this round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
I'm saying if in this round,
Chicago.
I know. I was saying in this round between Chicago and New York because they're the 2 1 seeds. If I thought there was going to be an upset of the 1 seed, New York was the most likely
to get upset by Montreal. It'd be nice.
Yes.
It really would be nice. Montreal it's just a mentality thing. That's one I wouldn't mind being wrong about. That's one that I'd be like, yeah, I'd take the loss for.
And the only reason I say that is because I don't think I played a single game against Montreal this season. I think I ended up just sitting all those out somehow. And I think we squeaked one out, and New York just had our number all year. So that's why I have that scoreline there. Mm-hmm. Moving to the Tampa-Philly series, I am predicting with Cobra here, Philly in 7.
Nice.
I think Tampa Bay could take this one, but I like Philly. They're on that tear. They're kind of an underdog. And I think it goes 7. If it doesn't go 7, I think Tampa takes it.
I even gave them their special font. That's right. That's how I do it. So, Jesus Christ. All right. So moving on to the West, Chicago and Calgary.
Sorry, Jets. I'm predicting a sweep here in favor of Chicago. I know you guys can be competitive, so if I'm wrong here, I think it's only in 1 game, personally. Prove me wrong, Jets. I'd love for you to rub it in my face next week, but that's my prediction for now.
Along with your nuts. He'd love for you to rub those in his face as well.
Well, let's not get carried away here.
All right, Avalanche and Las Vegas Knights, man. Where you see that shit going?
And this is the game of the series I was looking up because I had originally wrote down Colorado in 6, but then I started thinking and I couldn't remember how the season series went. So I was looking it up real quick, and I believe they met 4 times, and Colorado took 3 of the 4. So with that being said, I'm going to stick with my Colorado in 6.
Colorado in 6. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if Vegas comes out, but like I said, that lackluster finish this season is just – it's kind of tough to, really get a read from because Colorado didn't finish that way, and they were in more of a position to be lackluster than Las Vegas. So I think Colorado kind of kept the ball rolling, and they played against Nashville and played really well, obviously winning 4-1. And we just even said earlier they were very unlucky to lose the 1. So I think Colorado rolls, but Vegas puts up a fight. Concluding my predictions.
That was pretty good. Next week we'll try to get Bacon and Reekers throughout the week, and I'll update this doc, and then we will also do. I think Sunday we'll do a recap Sunday, and we'll do a recap Monday. But depending on how those series goes, it depends on if we actually end up doing our recap on Tuesday.
Well, on Tuesday you can tune into my team's games.
Oh yeah, because your series is going the distance, right?
It's not. I don't think it's going the distance, but it's not over after 2 days.
No, all right, fair enough. Yeah, man. Wait, who did I take over? I think I took Chicago. I'm sorry.
Well, obviously, I'm the only one who picking my team guaranteed. But that's all right. I can use that.
No, it's good. It's good to be the underdog, man. It's to get a little chip on your shoulder and shit. Man, I'm pretty fucked up. This is oh man.
I think definitely next season, hopefully we have a better schedule though.
Better schedule, right?
Just
Done
because
by. I think next season we're moving to my stats.
We
I mean,
only
you mean
played-
better schedule?
like this, we only played Chicago twice in the entire season, and they're in our conference. So
Really?
yeah, we only played Chicago twice. We lost one in overtime, and we lost the other one 2-1. And I'll have it
Interesting.
wasn't against your shitty guys. It was against Hurt, Shit, and Dark. It was that line both games. I mean, were they playing their hardest?
Well, it depends. In the beginning of the season, they're definitely playing a lot harder than they were playing at the end of the season,
I think
right?
it was second week, or it was third week of the season and fourth week of the season. I think we played them. I can't remember, but we haven't played them anytime soon.
Whoa, fucking A, man. This has been a great podcast, man. We got a lot done here.
Holy shit! It's only been an hour too. I felt like it was a little bit longer than that.
No, it's only been an hour. I mean, originally I only wanted to run this for like half an hour. The fact that we actually got an hour out of this, that's kind of fucking a little bit impressive. I mean, there really isn't much to talk about. I mean, I'm gonna be watching the games obviously because I'm out of the playoffs. I'm gonna be watching the games really closely next week. So hopefully a lot of you guys stream because I'd love to talk about your games on next week's podcast.
Games are going to be streamed.
Perfect. Zendon, I think the perfect way to end this podcast would be you to talk about next season things, right? So what's going on for next season? When are signups opening up? When can we expect ownership being picked out?
I'm going to guess that we'll open signups after this round is over. Yeah, we opened them earlier last time. Yeah, after the second round is over.
Right, that's a great idea.
Opened them early. We opened them earlier than that last season, and some of the owners complained that they got too many questions and messages and whatever, and it kind of, they had to start thinking about management and all that stuff for the following season. They hadn't finished this season yet, so we're gonna wait a couple of weeks and maybe open it after the second round is over. That way, there's only a handful of teams left that can be distracted.
Do we at least have a start date planned?
Yeah, it looks like we're going to draft the second week in January on the 14th, I think.
Aren't you guys pushing for the? Aren't you guys? No, wait. You guys are pushing for the third week. I thought the second week was too close.
Well, that's what I thought, but
shit, he ain't lying to you, Cobra.
Some of the other guys think different. So, I mean, it's still up for debate. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. We had this conversation in the staff room, which is why, we're saying on the podcast, I want to make sure people are informed.
So it would be
we don't know yet.
It would be a fair assessment to say no earlier than the 7th, no later than the 21st.
No, it's nowhere near the 7th. It's either going to be the 14th or the 21st for the draft, and then obviously start the following week.
I'd go with that.
So it really, and it probably depends on where the signups are trending after the new year. If it looks like we're going to have enough signups, we'll draft on the 14th. If it looks like we need another week, we'll draft on the 21st. So that's kind of where it's at.
Gotcha.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. All right, man. This has been great. This has been awesome. Anyone else have anything else to add to this podcast other than the great new advertiser we have, Zendon Dolls Incorporated?
I think I set a record tonight and didn't say more than 10 times, and I'm completely sober. I don't know what that's about, but
it takes practice. That's all it is about, right? I felt like the first time when you did the podcast, you felt more nervous than you should have been. You just got to relax.
Which is funny. I really wasn't nervous because in high school I did sports broadcasting for our sports teams over the internet all the time, and I never had an issue. So I don't know what my deal has been, but
it wasn't really an issue. We were just it wasn't even anyone else. It was just me making fun of you.
Well, I know, but when you get called the master, it tends to stick in your brain a little bit.
Well, that was the one thing I noticed is I was listening to that first podcast. And it was just like after every 4 words, it was like
I think it was just because it was like my first week or my second week in the league, so I didn't have a whole lot planned of what to say because I really didn't know anybody. I didn't know how the teams would play because I didn't know anybody. So
that's like every single NHL player. You think they're nervous during their interviews? No, but those motherfuckers are saying or after every sentence they say. It's a normal thing.
Those guys are fucking trained.
In Russia. I love Russia. Hockey good. I play well. Team win. Vodka.
All right, boys. Those are our predictions for next round. I will get Bacon to Reaper throughout the week, and then hopefully we'll do a recap Sunday of the games, and we'll do a recap Monday at least. Can't promise anything for Tuesday, depending on how the series are going. It's been great. Thank you all for listening. It's just been great. It's been, I can't say it enough. It's been fun doing this podcast. It's been a really fun experience, and it's mostly because of you guys. I've run these things, not to get all emotional, but I've run these things in the past, and the way I see it is they always kind of flop because I just don't have a dedicated group of people that actually want to come on and give their opinion week in and week out and get drunk with me. And really just talk about hockey. So it's great. I thank you all, and I thank you all for whoever's been watching all season long. I thank you all as well.
Do we think that this may be that people don't mind getting drunk with you? It's just they don't want to share their opinion with you. Is that a possibility?
I feel like getting drunk has improved the podcast.
maybe labeling it the Drunken Podcast took off some of the pressure on some people, and they're like, "Oh, that sounds chill, man. Let's do it."
Yeah, let's all get fucked up. Let's do it.
I've said this to you before. I said this in the pit before that I expected when you asked me to come on. I think it was week 2 of this season. That would be the only time I would do it, and I had a whole lot of fun. And I didn't expect to have fun doing this, but it is fun.
It's relaxing. It takes a load off the the whole league bullshit. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean it definitely gives you and I especially an outlet which we may not have otherwise, trying to run this damn league. I kind of separate myself.
You run it.
Well,
I kind of just watch from the sidelines.
Yeah, but I mean I kind of separate myself as, from Zendon, the president of the league, and Zendon as the idiot on the podcast. I kind of separate it, and it's been fun being able to do that.
It's tough. It's tough to do that.
All I'm saying is the podcast has been so successful this season that next season I expect intro music and graphics and shit. So step up the game, Cobra. You got a month, baby. You got a month, big boy.
That's not gonna fucking happen. I can't even get my WhatsApp working right now. You want fucking intro music?
How hard is it to find a 30-second ringtone on Spotify and play it while you're fucking starting the podcast?
All right, so why don't you guys fucking do it, and I'll fucking whatever. Fuck Jesus Christ.
This is your shindig, man. We're not trying to hijack it. We're just posting suggestions here.
I don't get paid enough for that.
No, I feel like that'd be a great idea. The only issue with running a kind of like a soundtrack at the beginning of it is that one, if we're using Google Hangouts, so it'll have to be recorded through the speaker into the fucking computer, and then that's where it gets distorted and it sounds all fucking retarded and shit. I kind of like it the way we do it, where I just start it and you guys don't even realize it, and you guys are sitting there having a conversation, and then 5 minutes later you're like, oh shit, we're live. I'm like, yeah guys, we're live. Welcome to IOHL Podcast. I like doing that. It's fun because there's a lot of funny conversations that happen before the podcast even goes live that I'm like, okay, I need to start it right now because these guys are they're onto some gold right here. That's how I feel about it, anyways. Holy fuck! All right, we need
all the seasons you're doing this.
All right, so you guys are familiar with Bob Barker, right?
Yeah,
the guy who bought a new car.
All right, yeah, perfect. So I was listening to the Bill Burr podcast, and this homeless guy comes up to one of his buddies to get some change off him, and he asks, And he pretty much is like, if I can make a joke that makes you laugh, will you give me some change? And dude says, okay, fine. He's like, did you hear recently that Bob Barker died? And the guy's like, no, what happened? He got hit by a brand new car.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really not funny.
My original chuckle was muted because I didn't realize my mic was muted, so I apologize.
It is fucking funny. Fuck you, Zenden, for not having a fucking sense of humor. It's like I grew up watching the dude, man. So you hear like he died by getting hit by a brand new car. That fucking makes me laugh. Fuck you. Thank you guys for watching.